Is it, I mean, I hear that you talk many times about just the grandness of our vortex, the infinite nature of our vortex. And I get that, especially when I see like the beauty in nature, or it just resonates with me. I get it. I understand that there is the hands in the clay, and then there is this aspect of source that's just making it so beautiful or so great, and our capabilities are there.
Sometimes you do get it. That's when you're feeling those moments of appreciation. Sometimes you're not letting yourself get it. That's when you feel discouraged and like you've had enough contrast. So sometimes you're getting it and sometimes you're not getting it.
But I feel that grandness is so distant from where I am.
Well, sometimes it is and sometimes it isn't. When you practice deliberately the allowing or the resonance with that which is source, one of the things, let's start at another place, because this was a new practiced realization for Esther. She was like you, conceptually understanding it, but she discovered a new hands-on, more consistent recognition of it once Jerry made his transition into non-physical. So she's sitting and editing. Now this was an experience that she's had for years, and Jerry was in the other end of the bus or in the other end of the house, and they're working together and weaving in and out of one another's day, but mostly doing their own things, sort of rooting for each other, whatever they were doing, and then coming together through the day for different things, but mostly having singular experiences while in the presence of one another. So then Jerry made his transition into non-physical, and for quite a while Esther's awareness of where he wasn't was so dominant that her missing of him was severe. And then through listening to the recordings that we were offering and through her own application of things that she's been hearing from us, she stumbled across a realization that not only was Jerry, even though he is non-physically focused, was he not gone, but he was more present than he had ever been. That while his attention upon Esther and the work that they were doing together was divided when he was in his physical body, now his focus is not divided by any resistance of his own. Pure, powerful focus that when Esther allowed herself to stop missing him, she hooked up with a presence of him, a consciousness of him, his awareness of her and her awareness of him that was far beyond anything that she'd ever experienced when he was physically focused. So the result of it, and you have this experience all the time, it was the one that you were describing when you first sat down. The result of that is that when she's editing, she has editing, meaning listening back to the sound files, removing some of the coughs and whiskers and annoying aspects, and choosing the track titles that best represent in very few words what this segment is about and what this segment is about. She realized that she had a presence, a consciousness, a knowing that she knew was not her own. So then she began to realize that since he's always there. Now, Jerry, in this case, is representing the whole of what non-physical is, because we're all there. Always there. And when Esther is vibrationally up to speed with it, the clarity, the feeling of exhilaration, the feeling of all is wellness is indescribable. But that same constant presence of him, when she is not there, feels like grief or missing or lonely. And she began realizing, it was such a wonderful realization, that because she thought, and so did you, she thought that when he was there, she felt his presence, and when he was not there, she felt his absence. But there's no there and not there. Source is always there. You're the one allowing it or disallowing it. You're the one jumping on the disc that allows the full revelation of it or the not revelation of it. Does that make some sense to you? We want you to feel the fullness of source in your moment, and we want you to realize that because source is right there with you in your moments, that when you are vibrationally up to speed with it, that's when the world is bright and beautiful. That's when your appreciation of the specifics of this physical, tangible, manifested world is at its greatest, you see. So you can't separate yourself from that which is non-physical.
That was my next question. There is no separation. So
there is no separation, but there is a perception of separation when from time to time you find a block of thought that puts you on a disc that doesn't allow you the full connection and realization and resonance with it.
Okay.
Oh, don't you love knowing that? It's all about what you've chosen, but source is always there for you, always there for you, always there for you.